Hello guys and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. I was in the spooky seasons kind of mood, and so we are building an autumn-ish themed house. The goal was autumn, the goal was dated, the goal was small farmhousey vibes. This layout is sort of loosely based on a real life layout that I have in my house. It's a house that I want so badly to build in The Sims and just cannot. It's an old 1910, I guess it would be kind of craftsman-y. I'm not really sure what the style would be, but my aunt and uncle own it, and I love this house. It's been in my family since it was built in about 1910, but the property has been since the 1890s. I love this house so much, but it does not translate to The Sims because it's got all this beautiful woodwork, and it's one of those houses where like the stairs are kind of stacked all up on top of each other, and you know, you have like one of the closets is under the stairs, is under, you know, one of the bedrooms is like ridiculously tiny, but it doesn't feel ridiculously tiny in real life. You just sort of like walk and like flop right into the bed, you know, but you can't really do that in The Sims because The Sims don't understand the scooch, you know. There were a few things that I was really hoping to make. I also made this house a little bit smaller because I was trying to build in Copperdale, which I haven't done a lot since I got the high school pack, which is super fun. But I wanted to build in Copperdale, and what ended up happening was the slot was kind of too small for the house I wanted to build. But to clarify, it's probably better because had I tried to do this floor plan like to its actual size and stuff, there's the glitch again. I know this footage is a little bit old, but literally yesterday I loaded in my game and I had Sims aging up all over the friggin' place. I'm so disappointed. I think I might have to just like kill this save and start again, which to clarify, this is my filming save. Like, I've kept my saves pretty separate, but I'm terrified to go back into my personal saves. I have not gone back into my personal saves since the age glitch. I am terrified too because they keep saying they fixed it, and it's not fixed, at least in my game. Anyways, I digress. I wanted to build in Copperdale, so this lot is kind of small, so the floor plan had to be kind of small, so it ended up not being very true to the house that I was originally basing off of, but that's okay because I've tried to build the house I was basing it off of like 5, 6, 7, 12, 102 times, and I quit every time because it's just not a house that translates well to The Sims, and it's because it's a very important house to me. It's like borderline offensive when it doesn't work. As an aside, before I get too far into this, if you hear the lawnmower, I've been trying to record all week. I have not been able to get voiceover time that's quiet. So I was like, cool, I have today off. I'm gonna try to sit down and record some voiceovers. And they're plowing next door. Or they're, I guess, mowing along the side of the field next door. So like my house, I live on acreage, but like my house is right up against the boundary line. The lot line, because obviously you want to keep your acreage all intact. It's easier to use equipment that way. If you plop your house in the middle of your acreage, you cut it up really hard. Anyways, so my neighbor's plot is right up next to mine, and their house is like 1.5 miles away, but their field is right up next to my window, and we have an access road that runs across because it's a big old field, and so they're very sweet, and they mow it all the time. They make sure it's really nice for me and the horses, and like they're very sweet about it, but they're mowing this morning, and so it's gonna be loud. I give up. I tried to cut out all the cuts and stuff. You saw a little bit of a sit there. This build was affected very strongly by people wanting to come in and see what I was doing, which is really fun, and I love sharing The Sims with people, but I was like, y'all, I'm recording. Also, my poor sweet dear brother had like an oops at work and came home with a nice big old gash on his head, and so one of these pauses, I think I cut it out. He walked in my room and I went, oh my god, and then left the game running for like 40 minutes. He's fine. I wanted to do an orange house. I ended up not feeling it so much, and I believe I did an orange house last year for kind of our autumny build. I think I'm gonna do more autumny builds, but I don't know when you're all gonna see this, because Lord knows I record and then they anguish. But I ended up going blue, and I actually really like the way it looks, because with this house I wanted to make sure it felt very autumny and had a lot of like pumpkins and leaves and things, but I also, if like you wanted to use the house but hated the theming, I wanted to make it so it was no more than like a 10-minute journey to just go around and delete everything and like make it yours, right? Like I tried really hard to do that, because there's been a couple times where I've looked at a house in the gallery and gone, oh, that's gorgeous, it's perfect, and then gone, oh my god, I'd have to change everything about it because it is entirely Christmas themed, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do houses like that too, and I love it, but every once in a while I'm like, this house would be a really good just player house if it didn't have all this decoration in it. So how do I go about making it where it's a good player house without, you know, ruining it for everyone? It is a little bit more of a craftsman style. I ended up doing a lot of like cats and dogs and stuff, and seasons, because I feel like that really works in Copperdale. Copperdale has a really interesting vibe, and I quite like it. I quite like it a lot. It's got, I don't even know what you would call it. It's kind of got like seacoast but not really vibes with the whatchamacallit, oh my gosh, that word just left, the boardwalk and things. It's quite a cool vibe. I really like this world. And this lot in particular feels very like, oh, my chair. It feels, I'm trying to think of like the specific vibe. It's like Hallmark New England. Or maybe like upstate New York almost. I've never been, so saying that is completely just what I've seen in media. I'm specifically basing that entirely off of what I've seen on Ghost Hunters. There you go. That's the extent of my upstate New York knowledge. I'm going to take a sip of tea one moment. Oh, thank you. It is very cold where I live too, which has put me in the autumny vibes. We went from like 103 to like highs of 70, which highs of 70 are nice, do not get me wrong. But when you have spent the whole summer at 103 and you wake up in the morning and it's like 40 degrees, it's a little cold. It's a little hard to swallow. So I'm sitting here freezing today, even though it's like 45 degrees outside. It's not cold. And you come talk to me in December and I'm gonna be like, oh goodness, it's 45 degrees. Let's put shorts on and go outside. It's funny the way we are. Anyways, this house, I was going for kind of dated. I also wanted it to look like a very busy family lived here, and I wanted it to look kind of like how my house looks right now, in that there are some pieces that are really put together because, you know, you purchased them put together, and there are some pieces where like the mom or the daughter or something thought they could DIY it, and so they DIY'd it. So like there's like a pink console and stuff in the dining room, and I liked the idea that like the mom got really excited and tried to do the decorating herself, and so like the dining room was very pink. I wanted fall without doing like everything in orange, although there is a lot of orange in this house. It's set up currently for 3 girls, a teen, and 2 younger ones. The only thing I didn't think about in this house until after the fact is there's no sneak out window. I need to figure out how to use the sneak out window because I'd like that option in my houses. But I feel like if you just added it in a couple different places, it would look fine in this build. I'm going to take another sip of broth one moment. This living room went through a lot of changes, and the couch in here is actually custom, all said and done. I'm going to set this down. Sorry about knocking into you. I ended up doing custom. It's not the greatest look, but I'm proud of it because I don't usually do a lot of like, you know, building my custom stuff because I've had this idea where things go on other things, but I used cutting boards to make the couch match the wood tones that I wanted because the couch I wanted to use that looked super comfy and the cushions came in the color I wanted. The wood tones did not. What I'm doing right now is just kind of going through and trying to make sure the layout works because I've had a few builds lately where I've gone through and been, this is great, and then I go to furnish something and I realize that bed doesn't fit and I have to redo like the whole stinking thing. So I'm going through here and just trying to make sure that like the family I have planned for, the spaces I had planned actually work as spaces. The teen has a huge room, side note. The teen has a really lovely room with space for a desk and a bed, and there's a little seating area. The twins have a smaller space just because they're twins sharing a space, but they both have a desk and a bed and some play area and stuff. But they may end up needing the bigger room at some point, maybe when the teen moves out and goes to college or something. And then the parents obviously have the parents' room. In real life, there are 3 bedrooms on this floor for this house. However, they are laid out very differently because the room that we're in right now with the kids, the twins' bedroom, is actually kind of partially under the stairs, and there's no way in heck that 2 beds would fit in there. And this room, the what would be the teenager's room, is, we call it the blue room because it's all done in blues. And the parents' room is the yellow room. She did them all in like these beautiful yellow colors, and it used to be the master, but then they actually added on to the back, which I didn't hear because my aunt and uncle had to rent out because the house had fallen into disrepair. It's a long story. And they put master suite on the back. They sort of bumped out what was the like back porch, the like sleeping porch, and turned it into a master suite, and then put this big beautiful back porch back on, but after bumping it out for like a living room and master suite. In any case, it looks like it was intended. Like they did a really nice job keeping the integrity of the house and stuff. But they ended up adding on, and so that upper master bedroom just became a guest space, but it has like a tiny little bathroom, but you can't do that level of bathroom size in The Sims because it would be like a tile and a half wide and like 2.5 tiles long. Like it's very tiny. I'm a very small person, and it's bumped my elbows in the shower tiny because it, you know, when the house was built, they didn't actually have indoor plumbing, so all the bathrooms have been like added. And then there's a whole attic space that's like a whole other bedroom and a half, and then there's a huge cellar space, but I can't accurately do the cellar because it terrifies me, so I've been down there like once in my whole life. That cellar terrifies me. I don't know why. And this space is much bigger as well. Like, it's all just a little bit bigger and different. But oh, the big thing I was going to say, the original point of that is this house has in real life has an upstairs sleeping porch, which is literally exactly what it sounds like. It's kind of like a balcony, but not really. But it's meant to go sleep on in the summertime when it's hot, because obviously when this house was built, AC was not a thing. This house now theoretically has AC, but I, in the 20 years I've been visiting, have never visited when it worked. All it does is flood the basement, which is not ideal. So, but so there's a sleeping porch. My cousins used to sleep out there. I've never slept on the sleeping porch because skeeters. Like, I'm not a big fan of mosquitoes. But my cousins have slept on the sleeping porch, and they say it's a lot of fun, and they really enjoy it. And so I wish I had been able to get the sleeping porch on there, the upstairs sleeping porch, but I was not. I ended up doing sort of a mixture between the back porch that the original house would have had and the back porch that my aunt and uncle put on, because basically it's the same thing. They just didn't put the screening back up. And they made theirs a little bit wider so that they could use it as outdoor entertaining space. And then they did this beautiful deck, which we don't have space for on this, or not deck, patio, which we don't have space for on this lot. But so I tried to do a mixture where the back porch is kind of a work area, but it's also still cute. So I think there's like a pumpkin carving station on there, and then I just put like a little flower thing, but you could put like a flower arranging station there if you wanted. Here's the custom couch I was talking about. It's not my greatest work, but I'm quite proud of it. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. I think it's kind of neat. It's not ideal, but it made it not stick out quite like a sore thumb, that wood tone. The wood tones are all over the place in this build, though, because I picked the dumbest wood tones for the doors and windows. Nothing else in the game matches. Even half the windows don't match. It's fine. Story of our lives as sim players, right? I also just realized there's no wall on those stairs. I will fix that before I put it up on the gallery. That's meant to be a wall. You shouldn't be able to see it under the stairs. Oh well. I don't know when that got deleted. Like I said, this house is kind of weird. I do love the little twist around. That's one of my favorite parts. In real life, the house actually at that midpoint on the stairs, it splits into two sets of stairs, and you can either turn around and go into the kitchen, or you can turn into this front space, which made sneaking around super fun in that house. However, you had to, like, every time I went to go visit, I had to like relearn what stairs were squeaky, so that if I wanted to sneak out and look at the stars in the middle of the night, I had to, there was like, you couldn't step, I think it was like on the 7th, 10th, 3rd, and like 14th step or something like that. And then on the living room side, you couldn't step on the 3rd step, and on the kitchen side, you just had to hope you could leap down the last 4 steps. And then if you turned again, you could go into the cellar and stuff. Lots of stairs in this old house. But I love it. I live now about 12 miles from it, so I can go visit my aunt and uncle and that beautiful little house pretty much whenever I want. I don't as much as I should because of work, but I should make a point to go see those people. The kitchen is very green. The dining room is very pink. I didn't really intend for the dining room to be pink, but I was trying to do different fall colors than I usually do, and I was like, well, it does, pink is kind of fall-esque. Jewel tones are kind of fall-esque, so I tried to kind of go in that direction, and I did mostly sconce lighting. Hold on. Okay, sorry, that dog just tried really hard to open the door. So my giant poodle, his name is Joe. You haven't probably met him in videos. He knows how to open doors because all of our doors are lever handled, because it's an old 1945 farmhouse. And a lot of the doorknobs are like pretty close to original, if not original. And that sound you may or may not have heard was Joe opening the door. I have the recording sign up, but the dog doesn't read, so... Anyways, I digress. What was I saying? Oh, jewel tones and stuff. I was trying to do different tones than you would normally expect in a fall build. I was still trying to get the vibes right, but do like a different look and feel. And so it ended up pink and green, and then yellow in a lot of the rooms. And then the upstairs bedrooms, I was going for more like oranges and greens. I really like the way it turned out. And to me, it says fall. I don't know if it would say fall to everybody if you didn't have the pumpkins, but that's okay too, because if you remove the pumpkins, then it's just a cute little house you can use all year long, which I think is really fun. So, but I've been talking for a really long time, like an aggressively long time, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here and let you guys just enjoy the music and the rest of the build. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're feeling very, very loved, and if you're not, please know that we love you and we're glad you're here, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one.